Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. I felt really called to come on today and do a reading this is going to be a very different reading. Sometimes I do light worker readings, so if you resonate with like light worker readings, then you're going to resonate with this probably. But I felt really called to come on and do a reading for those of you who have recently started your own channel or are thinking about starting your own channel or going after your dream in some way, like, starting your own business, writing a book, creating an oracle deck, singing, speaking, whatever it is, life coaching, whatever it is. I wanted to tap into that today. I felt, again, I only ever do readings that I'm called to do. So I was very called to do this today. And the thing that started it, and I hope this person doesn't mind me talking about her again, because I already talked about her in another reading. But, I have been encouraging some of you, like if there's a little voice inside of you telling you that you can do something or create something, to follow that little voice, because that's your intuition. That's your higher self whispering to you that you can do it. And last night, recently I had a few people in my comment section say like, oh, I've started my own channel. Here it is. And last night I had someone who, I was just wiping the dust off of that. Maybe wiping the dust off of your dreams on an old dream you had. Anyway, she sent me a link. She said, I just started a channel today, and I posted my very first post. And I immediately clicked on it and went to listen to her. And she's a singer, and she is amazing. Her voice moved me to like an emotional breakdown. Like I was not expecting it. Her voice moved me in a very emotional way. And for some reason, my guides were like, maybe you should do a reading about people who are thinking about starting a channel or wanting to, or go after your dream in some way. So that's what we're going to do today. I don't think I'm going to get tarot, although no, I don't know if I'll get tarot. There are two decks that I want to get though, and this is one of them. The Wisdom of the Oracle is the deck I was called to. And then the Sacred Creator Oracle. Nourish the Sacred Feminine. So that's the message for you. Nourish the Sacred Feminine. This is by the creator of the Light Seers Tarot. You can see the similarities there. Anyway, I bought this deck before I even became a creator. My higher self was like, buy that deck, before I was even thinking about being a creator. So I think that's interesting. But we're going to start with this deck today. So Spirit, this is a message, TikTok. That is so interesting because I mentioned that song, not that song. I mentioned What Are You Waiting For? Or What You Waiting For by Gwen Stefani. And that was a song that was the push, one of the pushes that I needed from my guides to start doing tarot. I started on TikTok originally, to, expose myself to it and to kind of build up my confidence before I started on YouTube. And what you waiting, what you waiting, what you waiting, what you waiting, what you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Like, I think it's common when we're thinking about doing something like that to, we want to wait until we're more experienced. We want to wait until, we feel ready. But will you ever feel ready is the question. So what are you waiting for? But let's talk about this higher power card. So it does feel like you're being intuitively, like your higher power, is intuitively guiding you to take action towards something this is for. So it's giving me Emperor energy. So what are you intuitively being guided to take action towards? And I want to read to you, I just want to read to you some of this card. And I'm going to be reading the prosperity message because we're talking about career. Sometimes your work just flows through you. Ideas come rushing in, and inspiration bubbles up from a wellspring you didn't even know you could access. When you enter agreements, begin projects, and negotiate deals with spirit as your partner, you will always succeed. Let your higher power lead. The synchronicities and intuitive nudges you feel will help you see which way you are being pointed, giving you the confidence to move forward in the right direction. It also mentions something about don't forget to give credit where credit is due. You wouldn't be a success without Spirit's guidance. So make sure to, be thankful to Spirit. Spirit doesn't want to be unappreciated or taken for granted either, I'm hearing. That's why I always talk about my guides and I talk about Spirit. Spirit is my best friend. Well, I have another spiritual bestie that I love very much, but so what is your intuition telling you to do? And another thing that I want to mention is that something that I was taught when I was, trying to get into all of this was I had a very wise person tell me, don't create content just for views. Don't create content just for the sake of creating content. I do believe that when you're trying to create something, there needs to be consistency. So you need to be especially if you're on social media, if you post once a month, it's not consistently, getting out there, if that makes sense. So I do believe in consistency, but you should also don't create content just for views or for the sake of creating content. And that's why I always say, I never create content unless I'm called to create content. All of the readings I do, just like this one, I'm intuitively guided to do them. And whenever I try to I get a lot of people on my channel that are like, please do new love readings. I'm not called to do new love readings right now. When I do feel called to do them, I do them. But whenever I try and control my content or control what I'm channeling, it doesn't hit the people it needs to hit. So there is a message here about trusting your intuition and creating intuitively rather than for likes or fame or, those things, or for just creating content. By following your intuition and creating what you're intuitively guided to create, it's going to find the people it needs to find. So that's another thing I wanted to mention. But Spirit, let's get some cards for this person who, again, you've either recently started going after your dream or you have, you're thinking about it. So let's get you a few cards. And you take this as it resonates. One of these cards may not resonate because there's a few people watching. Gift, sharing your gift with the world. Share your gift with the world and the universe, Spirit will reward you. When you're helping the greater good, the universe will reward you. And again, that's something that I used to think was oh yeah, oh, yep, yep, okay. But I've learned that that's very true. If you provide for other humans and you share your gift for the greater good, the universe looks after you. The universe protects you. The universe rewards you. And we have the fates. You're fated. This is your fate. What are you being divinely called to create? This is also star energy. You could be an Aquarius, or you could be an Aries. But Aquarius, the star, being in the spotlight. And just so you know, you can be a light worker, you don't have to be in the spotlight to be a light worker, just so you know. But the reason you're feeling called to create and to start your own channel, or you have, is because you're fated to do so. So Spirit, what messages does this collective need? The collective that's going after their dreams, wanting to create something, yin, divine feminine energy, nourish your divine feminine energy, trust your intuition, show compassion towards yourself, compassion towards other human beings. Don't chase fame. Don't chase money. Don't chase likes. Don't create content just to push it out. And it's like creating and then allowing what needs to happen. Which is exactly like, it's why you always hear me say, if this resonates with one person, that's all that matters to me. Like, I'm not, put it out there and attract it, right? It'll attract who it needs to attract. Your content, whatever that is, whether, again, maybe you're not even thinking about online. Maybe you're thinking about something else. Maybe you're thinking about being a painter, or I almost said a painter, a painter, or a chef, or a writer, or things like that. So Spirit, also, side note, you could be a divine feminine. And if you're a divine feminine, a lesson, or I shouldn't say it's a lesson that I learned recently, because I started this because I am a divine feminine, but I started it a few years ago. But one thing that I've learned from watching other divine, people who, there's this person on TikTok who specializes in twin flames, and her belief, the way she coaches divine feminines, is that if you're a divine feminine, you need to get on your soul's path. There's something within you that you are fated to create. It's part of your mission. And if you want to come into union, then you have to find out what that is. But anyway, let's keep going. So, putting it out there and then allowing the people who need to find it. Just like you found me. So what does this person need to hear? What does this person need to hear? We have community, which I should have mentioned it. Okay, Spirit, I get it. It was on the bottom of the deck underneath higher power. And Spirit said something to me about it, but I didn't mention it. So thank you for that confirmation, Spirit. For others of you, time to go. It's time to leave something behind. And I'm talking about maybe your day job. It's time, if you're trying in your life to make a job work, and you just keep getting hit with tower after tower, or it just doesn't feel like it's aligned with you, it's time to leave it. It's time to leave it in the past and go towards whatever this soul purpose is. And sometimes, I said the other day, there's a transition. I didn't just up and quit my job and be like, I'm a tarot reader now. There was a transition. So I had to start creating on my tarot, on this channel and on TikTok. I needed to start putting effort into creating while also juggling a day job of photography. But once I started on my soul path, I had a really hard time doing photography. Anytime I had a session or I needed to edit photos, I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do it. Because I was finding this, which made my soul happy. So once you find what makes your soul happy, it's a game changer as well. And there will be a transition period, like I said, unless you're really rich and financially abundant. It's really hard to just quit I'm getting a weird download. Hang on. It's just, you can't just quit your job and go after your dreams. You kind of have to balance it. I was feeling called to talk about, for some reason, I had this weird memory pop into my head about how when I was a photographer, people would say things like, you have a big fancy camera. It's no wonder you're a good photographer. Little did they know my camera wasn't fancy. It's who's behind the camera. It's not the gear. It's not the equipment. It's who's behind it. But I was just thinking, when I was mentioning people who are maybe you're financially well off and you can just quit your job and go after your dream. If that, I feel happy and you are blessed if you can do that, but not everybody can do that. And I was remembering that when I was a photographer, I went to this woman's house to take photos of her twins. and I attract twins. So it's funny. Like I have 2 sets of twins and now I'm like a twin flame reader, which is just hilarious to me. But I've always attracted twins. So she had me come to her house to do photos of her twins. And she was like, oh, that's a big fancy camera. It's no wonder you're a good photographer. Or it's no wonder that, you take nice pictures. And it's so invalidating because I didn't have that nice of a camera and it was so much more than just me clicking a button, right? But she was in the mindset, well, I can do that. I have all this money. Like she was very financially well off. So she bought a lighting kit and she bought a very expensive camera, one that I will never and would never be able to afford. And then she wondered why her photos didn't look good. And it was like she would email me and say, what am I doing wrong? It's like, you can't just buy a fancy camera. Anyway, I don't know why that came out, but Spirit told me to talk about it. And I trust intuition, Spirit. I trust the messages that Spirit sends through me. So we have belonging, being understood by others, like-minded connections, a sense of friends and family, knowing your place in the world. So this is what I mean about shining your light. When you shine your light, your soul tribe, your soul family can find you, just like you have found me. By shining your authentic light out into the world, it's a beacon to your soul, your other soul contracts. Here I am. Here I am. And it allows them to find you. So not only does it open the door to your own creativity and to perhaps abundance and a new career, but it also opens the door to a whole new world. I'm hearing Aladdin, a whole new world. It opens the door to soul family and soul tribe members and new friendships and community. And I feel, I don't believe in regrets and like wishing I had done things different. But again, very honestly, up until 3 weeks ago, I would not spend time in my comment section because I could not take the negativity from like the doubters and the haters. And I do kind of regret waiting so long. What are you waiting for? What you waiting for? I regretted waiting so long to start interacting with you people, my friends, my soul family, because I can't tell you the community that I have like found in my comment section. I can't tell you how much each one of you empowers me and brings love into my life and happiness. And it's hard for me to like answer every comment because there's a lot, but at least once a day, I spend a good hour and a half in my comment section, just, allowing that love in my life, because for a long time, I wasn't allowing that community into my life, because I was avoidance. I was avoiding the negativity in my comment section. And by avoiding the negativity, I was missing out on this amazing community. When I used to do soul tribe readings, that was different. Soul tribe readings were the only reading, and I'm going to start doing them again, don't worry. My soul tribe readings were the only reading that I would spend time in my comment section, because it was just like people who wanted to, like, my soul tribe readings were just like me rambling like this. So I knew whoever was watching it knew what they were going to get, and they were there just to, spend time together. But I wish I had discovered that community of all of you before 3 weeks ago, because like I said, I was avoiding it because I was afraid of the negativity. But anyway, just again, random download. Whenever you're in a community with like-minded others, there's a powerful opportunity to reap great abundance. It's essential to ask, what can I contribute? Rather, what can I get from this? Figure out a need and look to fill it. Something meaningful will manifest. Even if what manifests is small, it is a sign that the doors of opportunity will swing open wider. There is also another meaning to this card. Don't try to be all things to all people. So don't try to please everyone. Opinions are like assholes and everybody's got one. It's the song I'm hearing. So don't try to please everyone out there. Think about how many people are out there. Like, and by trying to please everyone, you're not attracting the people you need to attract. And that was my point about when people are like, why don't you ever do new love readings? Well, because I can't please everyone. And that's not like, I've tried. Choose your role and be true to it and serve from a sense of authenticity. And that is so important. If you are imitating someone else, you're not going to attract the people you need to attract. If you are trying to please others, you are not going to attract the people you need to attract. If you are creating content just to create content for fame, you are not going to attract the people you need to attract. Guess who ends up being really popular? People who are authentic. Because by speaking from an authentic place, they find the people that were meant to hear their authentic message. So, and you know what? That is interesting that came out, because I spoke about that woman who thought, well, I have all this money, I can just be a photographer. But because she was like thinking it was about the cost of her camera and the cost of her lighting kit, it wasn't hitting the same. Like, she wasn't seeing the results she needed to see because she wasn't coming at it from an authentic place. Does that make sense? So anyway, just being your authentic self, so important. And you know what? I know that some of you have mentioned it, like that I've changed, that if you listen to my readings from when I first started, I am like super authentic now. And that took a while for me to be that. But the more authentic I am and the more like crazy pants I am in my readings, the more people that align with me I'm attracting to my messages. So again, just remember, soul contracts. Someone out there is waiting to hear your authentic voice. And the moment you start shining that beacon, it's going to attract them to you. So yeah. And it's also about purpose. There's no greater feeling of accomplishment than knowing you have a purpose. So it's about finding your purpose. And you won't be able to please everyone. You will, anyway. I just keep hearing opinions are like assholes and everybody's got one. It's none of your business. Anyway. And whoever's not meant to hear your authentic voice, they can go. Like, they can go somewhere else. Let's get another one. Oh my goodness. Regeneration. There's something here about like something in your life you need to kind of like, for example, for time for a nap. It could be that you are a divine feminine and you're in separation with your counterpart. So this is what you're meant to be focusing on right now. For others of you, it's time to take a break from something in your life that's not working. Like I said, maybe you've been forcing yourself to get up and go to your day job every day. And it just feels like if you're at your job and you're looking at the clock and you're like, oh, 4 more hours until I can go home, 3 more hours until I can go home. I don't want to go to work today. I can't wait for the weekend so I don't have to work. And oh, I'm just dreading Monday because I don't want to go to work. And oh, I have that meeting. I don't want to go to that meeting. All things that I felt in my life in jobs. That is the universe telling you, you are not happy in this job. Like, this does not fulfill you. And again, sometimes we have to get up and go to work every day because of money, because of finances, especially with the state of the world. Like, the state of the world right now, I just can't even handle it. It just makes me really sad. So focus on what you're being a light, especially in times like this, is what I'm hearing. Yes, I'm getting emotional. Regeneration. And again, I know that the people who are meant to see this message will see it. I'm not creating this video just for views. Do you know what I mean? And I trust that the people who aren't meant to hear it will click off, or they'll leave me a nasty comment. And that's fine. You know, for a long time, I was very defensive about those nasty comments. And now I'm like, give it to me because I see the lesson in it. It's been eye-opening for me these past few weeks. Anyway, 46. So this comes after time to let go. So there's something, like I said, that you need to let go of. Rebirth, second chances, new opportunities. Listen to this. So this is for those of you, maybe you have started your channel and you're not seeing the traffic or people coming to your channel that you want. Remember, consistency is key, yet finding a balance. Like, don't create just to push stuff out. Create what you're called to create, but there also needs to be consistency. Like, you can't just create one video. Like, I'm just thinking about YouTube. If you create like one video a month, that means your message is just very slowly getting out there. Whereas if you put up one video each week, like 4 a month, consistency is key. What happens what happens when it appears you failed at something? Do you see the beauty in the lesson? The understanding that arises from difficulties is like a little seed that lies dormant for a time. Then once it germinates in your subconscious, it pushes through into your awareness. It is becoming apparent that there is a new you, a new start, a more powerful version and form of what you began to plant in the garden of your imagination is surfacing. You are ripe for success, new opportunities, much better than those that came. Oh my gosh, much better than those that came before. Appear like gifts from the gods. Now is one of those times when out of a seeming loss and failure comes remarkable abundance. Do not dwell on the past because you really are experiencing a rebirth. And I just got chills when I was saying that. So again, maybe there's something in your life that, like a job, that you've been trying to force and it's just not working out. You just keep hitting like wall after wall. Maybe the universe is trying to like tell you this isn't right for you. If you are finding yourself dreading going to work, the universe is telling you this isn't right for you. There's something better for you out there. And your higher self knows that. And that's how your higher self and your spirit guides communicate with you. Because they can't just swoop down and, you know, talk to you. For some people they can, but not me. So do not dwell on the past. Whatever failed in the past, see the lesson in it. If you just got fired, see the lesson in it. It's like the universe didn't want you in that position, or if you were laid off, or any of those things. And just remember, don't be afraid of failure when you're going after your dreams, because that can stop you. Fear derails dreams. So fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear that no one will watch you, derails your dreams. I always say, a few months ago, just for, you know, shits and giggles, I scrolled back all the way back to my very first video. Guess how many views it has? Like 198 views, my very first video. So just see those things that feel like failures or like they didn't do very well. They're just stepping stones to something greater. And you have regeneration energy here, abundance in your future. So just trust in that. Let's get one more. And I always say, like, I kind of believe that the universe, like, put a huge wedge between me and my counterpart when I was meant to be focusing on my mission, because I was just so focused on I was just so focused on union. And like I had when I, when I couldn't do anything else and they were like actively pushing me away, that's when my guides were like, now's the time to do this. Now's the time to take that leap of faith towards this dream that you have. And again, 6 months, I ignored that. I ignored that intuition. Breathe. Breathe. Just breathe. Ever after, just breathe. When she says that before she walks into the ball. Ever after lives rent-free in my brain. Among other things. What am I looking for? Why can't I count? 29 is not 49 or 39. It's 29. 29. High Priestess energy and Hermit energy. So trust your intuition and what your soul is telling you that you need to go towards and create. 29 also reduces to 11, which is another energy of trusting your intuition. It's also a 11 counterparts. Anyway, this is on page 109. Oh my gosh. If you are a counterpart and you are on your counterpart journey, I don't know when I'm going to post it. What am I going to call it? I'm going to call it, it's going to have an image of, I'm going to show you the cover photo because you're going to need to watch this reading if you're a counterpart. So I just filmed a reading where this card came out for connecting energy. And I think the other one is something about momentum is building, the dance. And the feminine, on the feminine side of that reading, the card that I chose was on page 109, and this is on page 109. So just side note, some of you are meant to see that message. Patience, waiting, going slowly, wellness, meditation, and trust. So trusting in what you're feeling called to create. You have worked long and hard. And if you did watch my Soul Tribe readings, again, I was not in the, intuitively, my guides were like, don't do Soul Tribe readings right now when all that freaking mess was going on in my house. And now it's starting to stir within me again. Do a Soul Tribe reading, do a Soul Tribe reading. So I only do what I'm called to do. But almost every day in my Soul Tribe reading, we would pull oracle cards on page 110, 111, or like 100, 101. There's a lot of ones here. This card, 29, reduces to 11. So 111 is about trusting your intuition. So for some of you, maybe you've already started your channel and you're like, where are my people? Where are the followers? Where's the traffic to my page? Just give it time. You have worked long and hard. Your dreams are coming into fruition and you want to hurry things along. You are the slow one moving languidly, yet still processing right now in a rhythm directed by your authentic nature, the essence of your dream, and the will of the universe. Slow and steady wins the race. Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady. Be dedicated, be determined, be consistent. Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady. You will indeed win if you relax, stay the course, trust your intuition, and breathe. So that is your message, my friend. That was beautiful. See, if I'm not called to do a reading, I know it. And I was very called to do this reading, and I really love the messages that came out for you. So 3355 on the timer when I looked up. We have overrate your intuition. So stop underrating your intuition and overrate it. Trust in it. That's how, like, people will ask me, I used to watch like SO Tarot and I'd be like, who is she talking to? Where is she getting this information about me? How does she know this about me? Like, how is she in my brain? How does she know this about my person? How does she know this about my personal life? And she was just so confident in her channeling ability. And I was like, how does she do that? And that was like a really hard, that was a hard lesson for me to truly trust the downloads I was getting and to trust my intuition. And now guess what? I get those comments of, How could you possibly know this about my situation? Because Spirit told me so. It's not that I know anything about you. It's that's when I'm channeling, I get this inner knowing. It's a message from Spirit, an inner knowing that I need to talk about something or mention a name or mention a number. So overrate your intuition. Stop underrating your intuition and start overrating it. Start trusting in it. I feel very like, I don't know why, but I kind of feel like your big sister right now. I don't know why. I always say I'm a younger sister. So I don't really understand that feeling of big sister that comes out in me sometimes when I channel certain people. Maybe I'm, your soul sister. I don't know, but I have like big sister energy right now. I feel very like, you can do it. Shift the way to a new potential. So definitely shift the way to a new potential. Love it. You have lots of potential. In flow with money. So again, whatever you're feeling called to create, in the end, I believe it will bring you financial abundance. I believe that when you follow your intuition and you do what Source is telling you to do for the greater good, the universe rewards you. All right. Ambush your fears with your ferocious dream. Yes, I will. Thank you very much. I will read this card. Thank you, Spirit. And elephants. Elephants are amazing. Elephants, the destroyer of obstacles. So I'm thinking of that wild unknown animal. Animal oracle, animical. I just made up a new word. Again, I make up lots of new words around here. Animical. Oh, now I'm getting downloads about that card. That elephant is holding a flame. So what lights you up? And on that card, the elephant, one of the tusks is broken. So there's one tusk that's intact and one that's broken. And I'm hearing a very clear message to use your experiences and your pain up until now to help others, whatever that means, whether it's like speaking about your story. It's kind of why sometimes I speak about my own experiences. Use the obstacles you've been through in life to kind of fuel this dream and to fuel that fire, and perhaps even share some of those obstacles with however you're creating, if that makes sense. 51. I'm a little worked up right now. A time to be courageous, standing up to fear for the big sacred win, a time to take a risk, your dream being within reach. Grab your dream. Grab the bull by the horns. I'm hearing Drew Barrymore in Never Been Kissed. I can grab a bull's balls. Grab those bull's balls. Self-care message. So the self-care message comes out like, I always read the self-care message because for some of you, you may find this reading at a time where you're feeling kind of, discouraged or like you can't do it. Feeling stuck, fear of moving ahead, feeling controlled by fear or uncertainty, time to release negative thought patterns, a time to be realistic about risk tolerance, remembering that without small risks, there is no growth, learning to welcome risk as a teacher. And you'll never be able to go after your dream if you don't go after your dream, right? Makes sense? Your fear is an indicator that you are brave enough to challenge the status quo. It is normal to experience fear on the road to success. Every successful creator on the planet has had a myriad, is that how you say that? Has had myriad moments when they were worried that their idea might not work. Learn to manage your self-doubt and do it anyway. Again, change your perception, shift your perspective. Instead of thinking fear-based thinking, what if no one watches my videos? Change your perception to, what if just one person watches my video? How lucky I am. How lucky am I that I spoke to one person? And again, that's why I always say my intention is that this reaches the one person it needs to reach. And that takes the pressure off that fear-based thinking of, well, what if nobody watches? What if I just stop with the fear-based thinking? I know it's easier said than done. You can retrain your brain to think, like, challenge the negative thought, challenge the fear. Like I said, what if no one watches me? What if, instead of catastrophizing, what if one person watches? Then your message, your song, your book hit one person. That in itself is amazing and a miracle and magical. And the more gratitude you show for that hitting that one person, the more people will come. And now I'm hearing the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. Truth. If you build it, they will come. Anyway, oh my gosh, I'm like so passionate in this reading. Where was I? They've had moments where they were worried that their idea may not work. Learn to manage your self-doubt and do it anyway. Tell fear to move out of the way and know that your prosperity will come when you are courageous enough to follow your own light down your own path. Innovation always coexists with vulnerability, so allow them to live inside your dream together. You won't have all the answers, but remember, most of the time, the unknown is not nearly as terrible as you could imagine it to be. Sometimes your big fear will actually be as tiny as the field mouse that blocks the elephant's path. Like a gentle giant, use your great power, presence, inspiration, regal fierceness to stand up and do it anyway. Find your bravery and go for it. Your dream is worth it, and it totally is. Fear is a nasty naysayer. How do you respond when it screams mean girl insults like, I'm not good enough, I'm not ready, I look like shit? Why would they listen to me? What if I fail? How often do you move ahead in spite of fear? How are you making sure that the desire to reach your dream is infinitely bigger than the fear you may have of taking a risk? And maybe that's why I was feeling, when I opened to this card, I said, all of a sudden I'm feeling like a protective big sister. And maybe it's because your little naysayer in your mind is screaming mean girl insults at you like you're not good enough, you're not ready, you look like shit. Why would anybody listen to me? What if I fail? And maybe that's why I was feeling that big sister protective energy. Stop being mean to my friend. Stop being mean to yourself. Anyway. All right, let's get another one. Okay, then. External validation. I don't know how many cards I'll get. I'm just going to go until Spirit tells me to stop, which is always what I do. 50. External validation. Finding your own vibe and your own beat, effortlessly attracting others because of your warm energy, tuning out the noise of external validation and listening to your own heart. So fuck external validation. Opening yourself up to external validation and accepting compliments. Never mind. Never mind. So there's an energy of not needing to have external validation, but accepting it when it comes. So I take back what I said, Spirit. Self-care message. Isn't it interesting how Spirit works? Because I was just talking to you about my comment section and about how I was avoiding the negative people and missing the external validation from all of you. Self-care message, paying too much attention to naysayers, listening to opinion as if it is a fact. Opinions are like assholes and everybody's got one. Worrying about what others may think. The addictive nature of needing praise and addiction to social media. On one hand, external validation can build you up and give you the encouragement and support to continue. Positive external validation whispers, we love it, continue, we want more. It can be wonderfully supportive and reassuring and offer glimpses into what's possible for the future. In this way, external validation can be a driving force for your success. Yet on the other hand, it can be terribly addictive and become far too important if you give it too much power. It's important to learn how to tune it out and in order to tune into your own vibe and creative north. This is especially true when others don't understand your vision or when you are doing something totally new. The absence of external validation can be a creativity killer if you find yourself unable to move ahead without it. It's time to know thyself and to rely on your own acumen? I don't know how to say that. And intuition as you decide something's value. Accept the positive when it's there, and in its absence, be your own cheerleader. And again, I will be your cheerleader. Send me your channel. I'll follow you. Allow your own potential to inspire you and tune out the noise of external validation whenever it's not gifting you joy. Throw a headset on, light a candle in your heart, groove to your favorite drum beat, and relax. Your unique gift for seeing the world in your unique way will guide you. So just remember to not, if you're not getting the external validation that you want, it's okay. It will come in time. And remember not to start just creating things for the external validation and becoming addicted to the validation. Does that make sense? And that's why I was talking about don't create content just for the sake of content and for being getting attention, right? Anyway, when you do rely on someone else's opinion and whose perspective is the most important, this is a question. When do you rely on someone else's opinion and whose perspective is the most important when there is a difference of opinion? I know, Spirit. How can you use external validation as a way to market test or perception check without relying on it for inspiration? How can you learn to be your own compass? When is your optimal time to seek a second opinion? In your current situation, you must have the only voice that matters. What does your heart say? I love that. Love it. And I love elephants, and I love headphones, and I love you. So, nourish nourish the sacred feminine. I love that came out. Because that was on the bottom of the deck when I first started. And again, just like community, I didn't mention it, and look what happened. Believe in the magic. 18, divine feminine energy. So maybe for some of you, like I said, you're a divine feminine and you're feeling this call because, maybe you can't hear your counterpart anymore. Your counterpart's not in your energy, so you can finally hear your intuition, right? That's not going to be for all of you, but for some of you. Yin, feminine energy, an inner knowing and the unconscious mind, listening to your intuition, showing unconditional love, fertility and prophetic dreams, circadian cycles and phases of the moon, wisdom traditions, co-creation, nurturing, teaching, healing, using your emotions as a guide, facilitating new relationships. Self-care message, illusions, fear of anxiety about the unknown, potentially missing something that you can't see, a time to let go of negative self-talk, I already said that, and to tap into your innate inner knowing, work to be done on the shadow self. Now is a time of deep introspection as you wait for an idea to grow and develop. You've planted the seeds, and sometimes divine timing requires a period of rest as things culminate and ripen. The moon asks that you be open to receive, to reflect, to pause and collapse into waiting. She is the waning crescent that casts a moonlight glow over the landscape of your life. She has trickled light onto your path, but only very dimly, because she hopes that you will listen for the subtle signs and the wise whispers that are all around you. And I just started hearing Into the Unknown. So if you need some inspiration, listen to Into the Unknown from Let It Go Too. Yes, I am that cool. If I hear you, but I don't. and it's just making me think we can hear our intuition, but sometimes our fear and our ego tell us, nope, I don't hear that. Nope. So, and think about that movie. like, she followed her intuition and look what happened. I can't remember the movie, actually. I can't remember what happened. But I know that most Disney movies have a happy ending. So there you go. She has trickled light onto your path, but only very dimly, because she hopes that you will listen for the subtle signs and the wise whispers that are all around you. I already read that, but whatever. It's time to look directly into the shadows at any lingering wounds that may continue to affect your current understanding. Remember that in the dark, it's easy to blow fear and illusion out of proportion. Don't strain to see that which you cannot see right now. Instead, focus on your inner knowing and on what you can see. Allow your intuitive nudges and any persistent feelings to help you translate her gentle illuminations. You must trust yourself. What does sacred feminine mean to you? Do you have other ways of naming this energy? And how do you nourish this receptive, intuitive state? Do you tend to favor strategy or intuition, and how do you decide? And I, like I was talking about, I am always someone who favored strategy and planning and control. And divine feminine energy is the opposite. It's, sorry about the dogs barking. Do you listen to your ego and your mental mind chatter, my dog's barking, or do you trust your intuition? Hang on. I also was called to mention that, like, I talked about how when I tried to come at my channel strategically, based on what other people told me I should be doing, and like trying to strategize, okay, well, I'm going to do a new love reading, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this. It didn't work. But when I came at it intuitively and I just trust what I'm meant to be channeling, and I just trust in every reading that I do is intuitively done, it almost creates more flow, in my opinion. But anyway. It's also okay to be a planner and to have sometimes you need a strategy in order to, to start your own business and things like that. I'm not saying there shouldn't be a strategy, but a healthy mix of strategy and intuition maybe. So I'm just going to get a few of these cards. I bought this deck intuitively and I only use it when I'm intuitively called to use it. I bought it like maybe over a year ago from Tarot Stack, and I've only used it twice, so I was feeling intuitively called to use it for you. It does have to do with creativity, and it is for creators. I guess that's why I grabbed it. I don't know why, but I'm hearing the line from that song. Everything I've ever built is here inside these walls. I'm sorry, sacred spirit. Is that the lyrics? But I'm drowning out your call. So it's like there is a message there where it is more comfortable to stay in the familiar, and that we do drown out that calling, that intuition. So just, I don't know why that came out, but it did. Maybe you should listen to that song, Into the Unknown. Go listen to it. So, messages for my beautiful creator. Okay. I like how that flopped out. I was like, here you go. So what do we have? I want to take this one for the cover photo. And probably this one for the cover photo. Look, we have no cards left. I've taken all the cards. Here, let's put these up here. Hopefully that's straight. It is. Creative numbers. No one really derives joy from signs of success. It's a project done well, meeting its audience. The numbers on that can be small but significant. Oh, yes. I love it. That's exactly what I was talking about. Who cares how many views you get if, like, as long as your message hits one person. I even said in this reading, like, I don't care who this, like, I don't care if this message, like, gets 10 views, as long as it hit the person it was supposed to hit. We have creative fire. It makes me think of the elephant. Passion, yes, but be careful. Heat is an extreme. It can burn out or burn you out. Learn how to take your creative temperature. And that's what I meant about not creating just for the sake of creating. You can burn out doing anything. So just remember to pace yourself. Don't burn yourself out trying to create. Creative love. If you hate your creation into life, how are people going to love it? Be discerning, critical, and honest, but don't be unduly harsh. If you hate your creation into life, how are people going to love it? Maybe you understand that. I'm having a hard time understanding that card. Creative alchemy. The unknown meets the practical, real-world skills and knowledge. Throw in luck and devotion to authentic creations. Creative versatility. Diversity is a strength, not a weakness. A painter does not just use one paintbrush or color. The writer has more than one muse. Creative marination. The buildup is hard sometimes. Find something to do, but don't cut yourself off completely. Again, if you don't see anything marinating, don't just cut it off and say, it's not meant for me. Give it time. Give it time to simmer. Give those seeds of intention time to blossom. Creative completion. Transformation. Don't move out of... Why can't I read? Transformation. You don't move out of it the way you came in. Hopefully your audience won't either. And creative breakthrough. Simply a breaking apart. The pressure released. Overnight success takes years. All right. I don't know why I put that over there. That was weird. So I'm going to leave it here, my friends. Thank you for being here for this reading. If you have started a channel, leave it in the comment section on this reading so that we can support each other, okay? And I'm proud of you, and you can do it, and I believe in you, and protective big sister energy here for you. Sending you lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.